brass monkey negative. Here's some tips to help you learn how to develop the strength and awareness to control your brass monkey descent. Whether it's to go to this bottom shape, to make it a dynamic move, there's a lot of other pole transitions that can come from having this control coming down. So, of course, to start, you should have a solid brass monkey from any entrance. For the sake of efficiency on my short pole, I'm going to be getting into mine from a shoulder mount simply because best use of space in this environment. So let's talk about what's happening with the arms first, right side up. Once you are in your brass monkey, really important, and this is actually very similar to what we do in a negative in a handstand press coming down like in a stalder, is when you're in your brass monkey position here, you don't want to have your head up this way, because what tends to happen is when we lift the head, it tends to arch the back. And once we arch our back in that direction, the likelihood of your entire torso coming down like a ton of bricks is pretty high. So instead, we want to start to be able to develop the strength and awareness almost like we're rolling through one vertebra at a time coming down out of it. So when you're getting into this position in your brass, your arm position, you want to make sure wherever this elbow feels best for you, there isn't an exact position for it, but wherever you feel like you can feel that squeeze, like your elbow's pushing to your side the most. Your bottom arm, though, this is really important. Bottom arm position. I don't want to have it so far extended down that my shoulders start to tilt. I want to have it choked up enough that my shoulders are square-ish. They don't have to be exactly square. And here's the most important part. I want to be able to feel that I still have a little push, okay? Because that's what's going to help you slow that descent. If my arm is fully extended down, I don't have a lot of push until I'm all the way at the bottom and pretty much run to the pole. So choke up that arm that you can feel. Maybe you have a little micro bend. Remember, everyone's arms are a little bit different, whether you have hyperextended elbows, not. So that's going to look a little bit different on everyone. But you want to feel that you still have some to give right there, okay? Then with that torso position I was talking about, as we create this space here between our arms, you want to think of tucking your chin and looking through that hole as you're coming down out of the negative. It's really important where your eyes go, your body's going to tend to go. Plus, our kind of rule of thumb is that if the head is up, the butt goes down. If the butt is up, the head goes down. And in this case, we want our butt to come down, but with control. So we're going to tuck our head, and that's going to help us control more what's going on with our butt. Okay, so we've got what's going on with our arms. We've got what's going on with our head. Your upper back here, as you feel that push with your bottom arm, think of almost rounding it ever so slightly. That will kind of help you almost brace for that descent. And it's a very slight motion, okay? It's the difference between my back being flat here and this. And it's just a little, as you push with that bottom arm, you'll be able to feel this like you're pushing away in your back, okay? So we've discussed what's going on in the lower torso. Let's talk about what's going on with the legs, okay? Eventually, yes, maybe the goal is to come down with both legs the way that I did. But in the beginning, that can be a little bit scary, especially if we don't have a lot of control in it. So let's talk about some progressions, okay? So first progression, the best one to start with if this is new to you. Of course, as always, use a spotter, use a mat, but especially if you don't have a spotter with this one, you're going to start with the outside leg, okay? And I know sometimes we get upside down and we get a little dyslexic about which is our inside leg and our outside leg. So if you need to take a moment to think about, okay, if my brass monkey this way, this is going to be the outside leg. It's the one that is not hooked with the knee. We're going to bring that leg down first, okay? So into your brass monkey, whatever entrance you would like. From your brass monkey, we've got that elbow squeeze. We've got that push with the bottom arm. We're tucking our chin. Granted, as I'm talking to you, I probably sometimes won't tuck my chin. And then from here, pushing out of that upper back. I'm going to bring my outside leg down. And I'd recommend starting with it bent initially. Eventually, yes, you can go to straight. But once that knee gets as low as you can, feel that push with your bottom arm. And then you're going to try to take the other leg down. It's probably not going to come down that smooth initially, but that's okay. In the beginning, we want to feel that we know where down is and that we can control it and we're not going to die. That would be the most important thing. Okay, so that is step one, just knowing that you can take it to the ground and you're like, oh, okay, outside leg, push, check, got it. We felt the push with the bottom arm, felt the squeeze with the inside arm. So if that is making sense in your body, now here's the next step to add on. And this is where it starts to get a little bit complex as we get upside down. We need to counterbalance our legs. Okay. So if I am right here in our usual brass monkey, it's almost like we're hiding behind the pole. As my legs lower down, I've got this really long lever, everything out this way. So if I start to bring my legs down, especially straight, all this weight is here. It's going to take so much strength to slow that descent. To counter that, if instead I push my butt back before I start lowering my legs, basically the pole is your center of mass, your pivot point, like with a teeter-totter. The more I can kind of push my butt back this way, now as my legs lower, there's not quite as long of a lever out this direction, and it's keeping the weight closer to the center of mass and making it more easily controllable. Okay. So it can feel kind of weird initially to push our butts back, and you're just going to go as far back as you feel comfortable. And then you're going to do the same progression. Stick the butt back, everything else stays the same, and then just lowering that outside leg, right? Same thing. So we're here, stick that booty out, outside leg, tuck that knee, feel the push of the bottom arm, push, 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 and try to control it down. Okay. Initially, when you're doing these, also, side note, don't try to bring it into that straddle. Just in case you don't control it, you don't want to smack the goods. It doesn't feel good, regardless of what bits are there. Okay. Just work on bringing the feet to the floor. Once you're feeling the feet to the floor comes controlled, then you can work on bringing it into the straddle. We don't have to worry about breaking anything. Okay. So, butt is out. Once you start to feel that control, then we start taking both legs off. Okay. So we've got step one, outside leg, butt doesn't move. Step two, butt scoots back, outside leg comes down. Step three, we start taking both legs down at the same time, but I'd still recommend starting with them bent, because if we get into some physics stuff, the shorter your lever is here, right? The closer the weight is to the center of mass, the easier it's going to be to control. If the weight is out here farther away, it's going to be a lot harder to control, right? So we're going to same. Stick that booty out, feel that push with the bottom arm. Now this time we're going to tuck both knees same time. Okay? And once that starts to feel controlled, then we start progressing it to the straight legs. And even then, I would recommend when you're getting to the point of doing both legs at the same time, don't go from both legs bent to both legs straight. Kind of like with inverts. Like that's a lot of change in weight and balance. I'd recommend starting with one leg straight and one leg bent as you lower them down. And that way it gives you time to kind of build up that strength and body awareness of what's going on. So these are some step-by-step tips to help you work on developing your brass monkey negative, which, like I said, can turn into a lot of cool tricks, not to mention just a nice exit that is controlled down to the floor from your brass monkey. Try these out. Let me know how they go. And where are you at with your brass monkey negative currently? Have you worked on these before? Have you tried your brass monkey negative before? Is this a new exit from your brass monkey that you have not tried before? I would love to hear where you're at with it. And for those of you that don't know, brass monkey is my number one favorite pole trick to this day. Even after over a decade of doing pole, it is my favorite pole trick because there are so many different ways into it, out of it. It's just so versatile. I just love it. It's like a pair of jeans. You can put it with anything. Anyways, have some fun with this. Keep me posted how it goes. Don't forget to drop in the comments below where are you at with your brass monkey negative.